Hey guys, it's Bro You Whack, and there is a lot of stuff going on with Overwatch right now, to the point where it's starting to affect Overwatch 2, to the point where I want to make a video talking about the anticipation of, obviously, Overwatch 2, and how we can expect it to possibly release sooner than we expect. And what's getting me to the point where I'm thinking Overwatch 2 is going to release sooner is that the Archives event is releasing a month before it was scheduled to release. The lead writer of Overwatch, Michael Chu, actually left Blizzard recently, Stylosa flying over to the Blizzard offices, and now, just recently, like literally yesterday, there were 2 leaked images of Overwatch 2 featuring Brigitte and Moira. And now something to make this video even more juicy, literally the day after I record this whole entire video, is Blizzard decided to tweet out this little encrypting message that's hinting at the idea of Echo possibly being the next hero to be released on March 20th, as represented by, well, the encrypting message that was posted on March Xth, which is Roman numeral for 20th. Out of everything that I say in this video, I feel like this is the most hard set thing that is probably going to happen, where something's going to happen on March 20th, possibly Echo being released, or at least a story for the Archives mission that goes deeper into her backstory, and then everything else is just speculation, but it still leads into the idea of Overwatch 2 possibly being released sooner, way sooner than we ever could have imagined. But first, I want to talk about these 2 leaked images of Brigitte and Moira, because this is what's going to send the Overwatch community spiraling in speculations and cause a bunch of rumors that might not be justified, because these 2 images could be faked, or they could be real, but I'm kind of leaning on the side of them being faked, and here's why. Taking a look at these images, they're supposed to take the form of the PvE side of Overwatch 2, where you're going to be selecting a hero and choosing power-ups depending on the level of the hero that'll help you in the progression of the campaign mission. And I know this because when I went to BlizzCon, this was kind of almost the exact same setup with heroes like Tracer, Reinhardt, Lucio, and Mei, you know, some of the playable heroes at the Overwatch 2 demo station. And the power-ups are definitely interesting, where if you look at Brigitte, she has like a companion power-up, sort of like of the nature of Bob, where it involves Jetpack Cat. And it's funny because we wanted Jetpack Cat as a playable hero for the longest time, it just never came to fruition, but this image is speculating that Brigitte will have Jetpack Cat as one of those power-ups that you can play in the Overwatch 2 campaign missions. And then on the opposite side with Moira, one of the abilities allows you to revive the enemy and have them fight as zombies for you. So definitely interesting ways to progress in the story, but I want you to look beyond the awesome abilities that I would obviously love to have in the game and focus more on the tiny details. This is where the fake speculation starts to come into play, because when you look at the character models of Brigitte and Moira, you're noticing that they're wearing their normal classic Overwatch 1 skins, where if you look at Overwatch 2 gameplay, which is 100% real, all the characters are wearing their Overwatch 2 skins in the selection screen. And I highly doubt that Blizzard wouldn't remodel at least all the heroes to have some form of new skins. Now, I could be wrong there. Again, it's just one of those things that's speculating this being fake, because maybe at the Blizzard offices, maybe they have a build of Overwatch 2 where the character models just do have their classic skins, and maybe in Overwatch 2, the heroes won't have a remodeled classic skin. But my brain just tells me, you think Blizzard working on a game for months, they would at least redesign all the heroes' classic skins, especially if they're going to be telling a story on a bunch of the heroes. The second reason why I'm speculating is because they added a new level bar. Now again, they could have easily added this into the next build of Overwatch 2 PvE mode, but it's still a little bit different compared to the first build of the PvE menu screen. And then again, there is no timer, which is a little bit weird because that was included in the very first build of Overwatch's 2 PvE mode. Brigitte's level 20 font is a lot less bold compared to Tracer's level 1 font being so bold, but then Moira's name is a lot bigger compared to not only level 7, but also Brigitte's name. And the last and final reason why I think this might be faked, and again, I'm just saying it might be faked, is that the font on Brigitte's screen at the top where it says Internal Test is upside down, but on Moira's screen, it's regular, it's normal, you can read it left to right. And you think if it was a true Eternal Test that they would have it like right side up all the time. And then when you look on the right side of Moira's screen, Internal Test is just completely inverted, which is really weird. I don't really understand why Blizzard would have Eternal Test, which is supposed to, well, symbolize that this is an Eternal Test, if you can't read it correctly at all angles, if that's what they're trying to go for. You know what I mean? Again, I'm just looking way too deep into these 2 images, but with all of that culminating, it's like, okay, just hold our horses resources. Let's not get disappointed, because this is how disappointments happen. People think, oh, we're gonna get a jetpack ability, and then we get Overwatch 2, then we don't get a jetpack ability. People hate Overwatch 2, people hate Blizzard, people hate me because I'm hyped about Overwatch 2, but it's not what these Brigida mains thought it was gonna be. So that's why I'm just like, all right, simmer down. Let's just kind of look at everything and realize that they're not wearing their new Overwatch 2 skins, which might not happen. Tonal test is flipped upside down, and then the names and the fonts are all weird. There's no timer on Brigida screens. It's a little bit weird, but it's also fun to see what kind of abilities could be coming into Overwatch 2 because of the theme of the heroes. And I would love to see a jetpack ability. I would love to see all these abilities come into play, but I also know that this might not happen. But I didn't want this whole entire video talking about just these two images, because I also want to talk about things that are actually happening that could lead to Overwatch's 2 release date possibly being at the anniversary event, which also makes these leaked images just a little bit justified, because it's like, all right, if it's going to be releasing in about 2.5 months, there has to be a build of Overwatch 2 possibly being close to finished. But when you realize that the lead writer of Overwatch, and also probably Overwatch 2, Michael Chu, just left Blizzard, you're going to also think, well, why wouldn't these images be real? Because, well, if the story's already finished, that means that Overwatch 2 is probably just finished in general. And you wouldn't be wrong for thinking that. And that's where I want to go into the next topic of this video, which is talking about Michael Chu leaving Blizzard, and for me to actually thank him for making the Overwatch universe, but to also say that because him leaving Blizzard, that kind of symbolizes that the story of Overwatch 2 is probably finished, because there's just absolutely no way the lead writer of Overwatch would just get up and leave Blizzard right in the middle of Overwatch 2, like the biggest project that is supposed to embody Overwatch's story. You think the writer that wrote the Overwatch universe would kind of want to stick around and finish that, you know what I mean? But to give you a little bit more context of who Michael Chu is the lead writer of Overwatch. He made the story of Overwatch. He made the universe. He made your favorite heroes, Winston, Zarya, Brigida, Mei, Soldier 76. He made the maps. He made the settings. He made the interactions of these heroes. Now, he didn't actually code them, but he wrote them into existence. He is basically the god of Overwatch. Like we all love on Jeff Kaplan and call him Daddy Jeff and whatnot, which he is. Like he is the head honcho. He is the god, but like the physical god. He is the actual god at the Overwatch team at Blizzard. But Michael Chu is the literal god of the Overwatch universe because he wrote it into existence. So for Michael to leave in the middle of Overwatch 2 just doesn't make sense. And now granted, it wasn't just him. All right, give the rest of the Overwatch team writer staff some credit because they also did help. He does have a team behind him, but for him to just spend all this time on Overwatch and then to leave in the middle of it really doesn't make sense. It makes you think, okay, he probably did his job with Overwatch 2, write the story. And then another thing that you also gotta think about is Stylosa flying all the way from Britain to California. Now, I did talk about this briefly in a couple of videos back, but I talked about him flying to the Blizzard offices because of the Archives event. But obviously that released while he was at the Blizzard offices. But what I'm thinking is the reason why he flew to the Blizzard offices is because they probably gathered a lot of people that were heavily influencers of Overwatch, whether it was staff or actual influencers like Stylosa, to gather everybody up to thank Michael for his job and time at Blizzard and sending him off his merry way, but not before they see the final product, which is Overwatch 2, and have a celebratory party. It's like the best going away party that you can ever ask for as someone who spent 20 years at Blizzard. But again, it's all just speculation. But doesn't it kind of make sense? I don't know, but in my head, it does make sense. Because again, just using basic logic, if you were with the company for 20 years that was working on a giant project but wasn't going to get released for a couple of months, wouldn't you want to see the final product before the rest of the world gets to see it? Like, I don't know why you would just want to get up and leave. Like, this isn't just some random Blizzard employee, which is not supposed to discredit any Blizzard employee, but this is one of the head honchos. Like, this is the guy. This is like Jeff Kaplan leaving, basically. That's the only one I can really compare Michael to, because it's Jeff Kaplan and then Michael. But then you might say, well, if you think they're gonna be releasing Overwatch 2 so soon, then wouldn't having images leak out to the public that shows Overwatch's 2 campaign mission, like the one with Brigitte and more, be real, bro, you whack? And maybe, yeah, but I was really just going off of those images verbatim, and I was thinking, it's like, come on, Blizzard could do a much better job. Those images looks like someone could easily just Photoshop the victory poses of Brigitte and Moira on a background blurred image of Overwatch, and then just add abilities, and it could all be done in a night in Photoshop. You know what I mean? But when you think about everything else, that makes you actually think about Overwatch's 2 release date possibly being for the anniversary event, which is what I really wanted to talk about in this video. I want to talk about the facts, and the facts is the lead writer of Overwatch left, Stylosa flew to California, the new Archives event released so much sooner, something is gonna happen, and I really do think Overwatch 2 could release for the anniversary event because this is supposed to celebrate the birthday of Overwatch, but it would be the perfect time to celebrate the birthing of the brand new chapter of Overwatch. Overwatch 2, wouldn't you agree? I don't know, again, it's just using basic logic and making it seem right in my head. But I do want to end this video off by actually thanking Michael, because I went out on this huge rabbit hole of speculations and I forgot to really talk about him leaving, because if it wasn't for him making the Overwatch universe, I don't think I would be here. He basically made the world of a video game that I cover on my channel, and if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be living my dreams. So to Michael, whatever is going to happen in your future, I do want to send my best regards to you and to thank you, because if it wasn't for you making Overwatch and possibly definitely Overwatch 2, I wouldn't have my job. So thank you so much. But please let me know what you think about everything that's going on, and I'll see you guys in a later video. I love you guys, and bye.